Okay guys, Tyler here from J's Printers. I've already cheated a little bit, but we're going to be showing you how to install the CCD camera on your J16. The same principles will also apply to the J36. So this here was the first machine in the US that had the CCD installed. Um, so, uh, I've took the liberty of getting some of it prepped a little bit to make the video speed up a little bit, but I'll try my best to explain what I have done in terms of my prep work first. So, anything else though, you can always send me an email over at tyler@jsprinterparts.com. I can be reached there kind of really whenever if you have any question about how to do this. Also, please message our support, J's Printers on Facebook. We can get you hooked up with the tech support and get all this figured out. So, showing over what some of the prep work I have done already. So I already went ahead and I have got myself, which I have now lost back there, but you'll need a small Phillips head screwdriver, as well as a 2.5 hex Allen wrench. So I'll go working with that today. So in terms of prep work, what I've already done to make life a little bit easier in terms of recording a video and trying to hold it with my hands. But nevertheless, so bear with me as I just try my best to explain this. So, things I've already done prep-wise. I have powered my machine on. I raised my gantry up so I can work underneath there and get to that area there. I can show that here in a minute. So that was the huge part where you can get some working room. The other prep work I've already done, I've already ran my wire for my sensor. Get down here and kind of show how this is. Now, I didn't care about making mine all that pretty, so it comes down here and then runs back the side of the machine, comes back out under my waste tank, and goes up, and you pull this off here, and you run it up through this side and up to here. And what that will eventually wire into is going to be this plug here. I'll show after everything's said and done, but this is the direct cord. I've not added nothing on, so this is the wiring pattern in which you would be following. Take an ideal there. So that's one thing I've already done prep-wise, was I went ahead and ran my wire, so you didn't see me trying to fish that thing through and fighting with it for 10 minutes to try to get it to run there. So all I did was I dropped the wire through here, grabbed it on this side down here, ran it back. I'll go on this side of the machine. Gives you a better idea here, and then fed it through a couple of openings there in the gantry. If need be, I can, I don't want to pull it off, but I can if I have to. Run it up through the back side of this into here, and you see the wire. This is still the wire right here. And then up, there's a hole down in the bottom of this. Focus there, hold down, you can kind of see it. Run it through it, and wires into here, which plugs into this board. This board here will be the board that you secure inside of that area that controls everything. So that's the first big piece of prep I've done, is getting my sensor started. Next thing, already prep-wise that I had done, I've already ran my Ethernet cable through here, the same pathway that my sensor went through, the same route all the way up, kind of hanging it loose here behind my ink wells. You'll find that little board right here will end up, you can eventually, not today, but I'm going to drill some holes here and here. I'm going to mount it the back here for the time, as long as it's not touching any metal back here, it can kind of free sit. However, getting it secured will make your life a whole lot more, secure and better, and not worried about it. So Ethernet cable runs the same pathway the sensor does down through here. You can see as it goes down there, leads back into the bottom, and then out here, and I've run it through this hole, the same port that my printer cord comes out of. So, that's the two big things of prep work I have already done on terms of cording. Let me see. Next thing also is going to be, this is your powering that little board. So one thing you'll have to do, you'll want to splice those wires into this here. You'll find it down in the galley here. From my understanding, this here runs the warning light here. So I've just tied into that to give me enough juice to power everything. You clip them, push the little orange things in, push them in. And the same with that there, you push those little levers down and you throw it in with it. And it kind of just piggybacks off of it. So I've got my power to my board wired up, ready to rock and roll. One thing you have to figure out is the wiring there. Last big thing of prep I have done, this ribbon cable. This ribbon cable is very important. This is the ribbon cable that runs the camera. The camera here, in terms of what prep work I have done to it, I went ahead and I mounted the mounting metal brackets onto it. Once again, just some Phillips. See the longer holes there, those are for the the hex screws we'll put in to secure it along the rail. Be very careful with the lens of this. It's sensitive. You don't want to hurt it. And to get that in, there are some screws you find here. There's one more. I pop this off and it's like right back behind there. You pull this back, this whole piece of metal will shift back and you fish it up through here, and then you'll see as I've kind of done it in there, you run it along the side and bring it out. And I'll show how all that plugs back into the board here momentarily. So looking at the camera, how it goes on underneath your gantry here. See if I can do it without making a ruckus. Let me see if I can get my camera turned around here in such a suitable manner. But anyways, I don't think I can get it. Especially having one hand to try to work with it. You'll fill up here. You'll find one from this general area. You'll fill a couple holes. You go down here in this general area and you'll fill a couple holes. All thing you do, pick your hex. Wow. Come on, there it goes. Hex head bolts. And you'll put it through the bottom of the bracket, going up into the rail. And then that will secure that there. I would recommend running, because this ribbon cable here stays affixed. I'd recommend sitting this down, running your ribbon cable up behind this metal into this back piece here, run it out so you have it loose, ready to rock and roll. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, I might have to pause the video to do that, but I can at least try to do this single-handedly. So this piece of metal here on the side of my computer, you want to line it up. There'll be preset drill holes. Line that bad boy up. And you'll take some of these skinny screws, and when my fingers want to grab them, I'll start them with my fingers. That one didn't want to start for me. Believe me, B, this is like a walk in the park when you have both hands to work. I'm not a camera person, but any mean. Secure those down. And simply this little sensor. One thing I want to point about this, that when you do install it, that arrow should go back towards the back of the machine. What it's going to do is that is going to line up. I might have to pause it so I can get that to line up for me. I'm not going to get it there. What it's going to do though, it's going to line up with this limit sensor. This sensor here is telling that camera that my bed's all the way forward, and when I go back with it, it's going to tell my camera to kick on because I need it to sense what's happening. Okay, that's good. That lines up here to here. So there's a little bitty bar. We can set. I don't know if we can see it or not, hanging down there. A little bit. It's hard to see. But as that bar slides through, it'll trip this sensor, and then it'll go through here your limit sensor. But as you're going back, it'll trip it, and then it'll turn the camera on. So when it's scanning, you'll see a little light. I'm going to pause this just for a moment while I secure this. Once again, you take your brackets, hook them to the bottom side of your camera. So make sure that's all fed through. Take your hex head screws. And there's going to be some holes on the bottom of the gantry. There's only one set, so there's no room for air. I'll go do that really quick and I'll come back. Okay, so I went ahead and I secured this temporarily with one on each side, for my purposes here. You'll make sure you torque those things down just so when this thing starts to move, that camera don't wobble, because if it wobbles, you won't pick up what's actually on the bed. So once that's hooked up, you'll have your sensor done by then. It'll be ran through the bottom, up through the gantry, and up through the back where the ink wells are. You're also going to run your Ethernet cable from your computer through the side of the machine there in the same fashion. So at this point, you have your... So we've now installed our camera. We have our cables ran. So now we shift back over to this board. Close this little door so it's in my way. So super simple. I'm gonna try to do this. I'm gonna set that right there for now. I hope I can do it one-handed. Once again, to repeat, your sensor goes in this way. Here, that's your power. Once again, we've piggybacked off of the warning for your waste tank sensor, wired it in. So when you're plugging it in, this is how it goes. This is going to be my left side, so the left side is going to be black, right side is going to be red. You can see here how they correspond down here too, black with blue, red with the brown. And I'm going to go ahead and plug this in to here. So we now have power going to this. Please forgive me if my recording skills are subpar to all of this. So this piece here, this actually is that limit sensor right there. So this, after it comes up, it'll come up just with the wires, and you have to wire it into this. And then this here will plug into this board. So that goes in. So the round side goes up. And bear with me as I try to finagle this with one hand. Plugs in which this is the order: brown, black, and down here 2N is going to be the blue. Once again, this is the direct line from that sensor there. If you have to add on to your line for some reason, if it's too short, shouldn't be, but just in the weird case it is, just remember this is how it has to correspond: is that your brown goes in here, your black goes in here, and blue goes here. So just keep that order in mind. That's one thing I struggled with at first. Next easy part about this whole board is going to be your Ethernet cable. It's going to plug in to there, and then last but not least, this is a little flipper on the back side for your camera. You're going to want it where the ribbon cables touch down, so you'll end up seeing, I believe it's blue on top. I'm going to pause it real quick and just hook it up, and then I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. Okay, I got them plugged in. So Ethernet there, that power cord, there's a power cord there, that's this data sensor, and that's your camera ribbon plugged in there, secured in. So after that, you'd want to, I would drill some hole, I'm going to, but for at least today's video, I'm not too much worried about it. Drill a couple holes down in there so you can get that, and you don't really want that any part of that bottom of that board or any on that board touching metal, because you run the risk of shorting it out. But for now, tuck mine back in there where I had it, so I'm not touching nothing. Besides maybe some rubber. I'm gonna set this back on, and then I would secure this, but since I might come back off and finish this up later, I'm gonna leave that unscrewed. You can see here I've wet capped my machine from last night, so I've not even cleaned this machine yet to put all this, but move my head back. This everything now, if I've done it correctly, should be ready to rock and roll. From this point here, after you have your limit sensor on and you run it through there up, run your Ethernet at the same time with it. Once you've secured your camera, I have a couple brackets here and here you can screw to it to your camera. Make sure you put your ribbon cable in behind this side here and feed it through. There's some grooves you feed it back into, and you get all your board hooked up. You are pretty well installed. Pull this forward now a little bit. My cart here is on wheels. At this point, what I'm going to do, if I was setting it for the first time, I would go over here to my software. I'm on, this is the old software, this is the Better Print software. From here, I would message tech support, say, hey, I got my camera installed. I need help getting it calibrated for my machine. So what they're going to do, they're going to remote into your computer, help you get everything downloaded you need to download. They might ask you to put some white paper down on your bed, just so they can print some marks to get everything calibrated up. Given, it helps speed the process rather than printing directly on your bed for you. So kind of keep that in mind. Make sure you have some white printer paper on hand with some tape so you can get that all taped down so they can help get you calibrated. I will say one earmark with this, as you can see on the website, this will affect the size area which you can print on your bed if you intend to use the camera. So I know for our machine here, when I had it running, my 00 was no longer here in this corner, but moved at about right in here roughly. Because your printable area is now, your camera can only sense what the camera sees from here to here in this region. So they're going to help calibrate it, get you a new starting point, so it's good to go. So just keep that in mind with the CCD. Once again, if you have any question about it, you can message Jay's tech support. They're on Facebook, or you can also email me directly. Hey, happy to get you directed over to them at tyler@jsprinterparts.com, and be happy to get this all help get you figured out for you. One thing I want to do, go back through and resecure all my brackets just so it's pretty again. But I will say, in terms of taking metal off, you'll have to end up taking this here off so you can get to it. Recommend even taking off your doors. I have still removed my doors. I haven't put them back on the back yet. Do a walk around. But take these back doors off as well. They help you get into the back side there so you can help feed it up. So that same piece there. You'll take this little panel off, and then you'll unbolt this to get back into there. So you'll end up loosening up. This whole tray will be loosened up so it'll pull back so you can fish that ribbon for your camera. Hopefully you've found it helpful to a point, probably not as in-depth as some would like, but in terms of, I think all the principles there are easily explained. Physically installing it, it's not the hard part. It's getting it calibrated. It takes a little bit of time and effort, and I do recommend highly working with our tech support team to get everything rocking and rolling. So yeah, any questions? This Tyler at Jace Printers. My email is tyler@jaceprinterparts.com. Be happy to help you for any of your printer needs. Until next time, have a great one.